Well, it's time for Media Watch now here on Live from Paris. I'm joined for that by James Creedon. Hi there, James.
Hi, Catherine.
Let's start off with one of the stories we're discussing in our main news bulletin, the ongoing debate over whether the so-called burkini should be banned or not. There's been a new incident in Cannes where there is a burkini ban, but it wasn't even over a burkini.
That's right. A woman called Siam, a Toulouse resident, was holidaying in Cannes. She was sitting on the beach with her daughter and she was wearing the simple Muslim veil, the hijab, and she was approached by 3 police officers telling her that she would have to take the veil off or leave the beach. And the scene was witnessed by a journalist for the state broadcaster France 4. And she said it seemed like a whole crowd of people were harassing this woman because indeed it attracted the attention of the broader public, and some people came to her support, saying that she should be left alone or allowed to wear the veil. Others, in fact, started making racist comments, according to Siam herself. She said that some people said, "Go back home, go back to your country, madam. This is the law. We are sick of these different stories. Here we are Catholic, etc." Some people were saying things like that, according to her account of the situation, and others were applauding the police officers. In any case, she was in the end issued with an €11 fine, and she was allowed to stay on the beach. Now, the thing is, the actual text of the ruling by the mayor, which only applies to the month of August. These are temporary texts banning what they call ostentatious forms of clothing that go against the principles of secularism. So the word burkini isn't actually used, and that left it open to interpretation by the police officers, who decided the veil, which in all other circumstances is completely legal, could be seen as as fitting into this ban, if you like. And the reason for this ban is the reason mayors are allowed to make these decisions is because of public order concerns in the climate of a state of emergency after these attacks. In other words, there's a fear that religious dress like this could be seen as a provocation. But in fact, there's nothing illegal in normal circumstances about wearing the headscarf or even the burkini, which has obviously been perhaps more controversial for other reasons. For example, the burkini is often banned in swimming pools because of questions of hygiene. It's a lot of fabric, and usually swimming pools have very strict criteria for what you can wear. Even in fact, in Algeria and Morocco, sometimes the burkini rather is banned in certain swimming pools when you will see it at the beach. No problem. So it got a lot of comment online, a lot of people really feeling that this is a Pandora's box that has been opened. And indeed, Siam herself said, "What next? Am I not going to be allowed to wear the veil on the street? It's one thing about the beach. What about, will I be stopped from wearing it on the beach? And what about practicing my faith in my own home? Where is this going to end?" is what she said. And she was very apparently upset, felt humiliated on front of her daughter after this incident where she had to face up with the police.
And you got to wonder, could this be interpreted in other ways as well? I mean, could Jewish men be stopped from wearing the yarmulke, the kippah, on a beach? It's a very more than grey legal area, isn't it? The Prime Minister has spoken sort of in favour of some of these local bans, but he's not legislating.
That's right. He says, look, I can understand in the current climate why these mayors might have taken this decision, etc., but I'm not going to legislate for this. He said that recently. He also spoke again to L'Express magazine recently, where he added to his comments saying, like the burqa and the hijab, the burkini is a symbol of the combat that a minority is leading in order to lock up women. They were his words. And he said these forms of dress are a provocation which is weakening our national community. So he's including in that statement the burqa and the hijab, which the burqa, it's from my point of view, that's very confusing, because the burqa is illegal in public spaces because by law you're not allowed to cover your face in French public spaces. The hijab is not illegal at all, and the law, in fact, protects your right to express your faith and wear religious clothing so long as it doesn't break the law of vis-a-vis covering your face, or it doesn't impact on the lives of others around you. And the burkini should be legal in all instances, except in the current climate of a state of emergency. It has been seen as potentially provocative during this period after attacks in beaches in certain parts of France.
And of course, some
Very
people
complex
saying
picture.
in itself, the burkini ban is provocative, and people worrying about a sort of a lashback.
Well, indeed,
backlash,
criticism
rather.
for Manuel Valls, even coming in indirect forms from his own cabinet. One junior minister, Axel Lemaire, retweeted a comment made by the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who is in fact supporting or defending those who wear the burkinis. So a member of his own government, if you like, is sort of
Taking a bit of a prod at him.
prodding him in some way, shape, or form. And anyway, look, lots of comment in the international press about this too. There's one article there in the New York Times. We don't have time to go into it, but saying it's about more than religion or clothing. It's about identity. It's about history. It's about a whole range of things. We don't have time to go into it.
Sadly, I'm sure this subject will come up again later on here on France 24. Thanks
Indeed.
very much for now, James
Thanks,
Creedon
Catherine.
there with Media Watch.